What is up, YouTube? Jonny here again today, and we're going to be working on the BRZ this week. I want to go ahead and finish refining the cuts that I did to the front end because I want those to be nice and straight so we can weld plates to them, and then we can get started on making some tubes. So first, I'm going to go ahead and just do the whole front end, grind it all down, make it all nice. So let's get started. So here's this side. You can see where it cuts a little bit further in on the top. On the bottom, it's not fully straight, so we got to make that straight cut. On this side, I already made the straight cut. You can see there how it lines up. Now I just got to match it on the other side. So the front end is cut to my liking. Might still have to modify a little bit. I also removed a lot of that inner fender liner that they put from factory, and then grinded it down just to have it all ready and prepped for welding. You can see I did the same thing with this side, except I didn't cut out this section here because it's actually sealed, so I'm gonna leave it like that. On this side, since this is the side where the hit was, this part was all open, so I was like, I'll just cut this out and then I'll just build the panel there. So this is where the structure is gonna go, the main structure for that. I have to remove this, and then this part needs to get cut out for the K-swap kit. And even a part of the transmission piece, I think there's gonna be like a cutout here for some reason. Only on one side, not on the other side. I'm gonna have to double check with the instructions for the K-swap. But pretty much I have to clearance a lot of stuff to be able to fit the engine 4 inches back with the transmission and everything. So it's coming along. There's a little spot here that's still wrinkled, so I'm gonna have to cut that and replace all that sheet metal stuff. I'm debating whether or not to remove the battery tray completely and then just kind of building a panel up and then just kind of sealing it all the way this way, just so it looks clean. Most of this stuff isn't going to be visible, and then that little part where the strut bars go is going to get deleted as well, because apparently it's in the way, and so you can't use those bars anymore that come from factory with the car. But overall, everything's looking good. I have to clean up my mess because I was grinding some more, and we're gonna have to work on an Evo right now, so I gotta move this car back. Tony's probably gonna continue working on his car because he wants to get it running by the end of the week, hopefully by next week, so he can have a car. So let's clean that up, move this car back under there, put this somewhere where it's not in the way, and get this Evo in here. So here is the Evo I was talking about. It's my brother's, and this is a friend named Chapo. He's got this thing fully built up, looking crazy. Look at that. Pushing like almost 800 horsepower. He's got this super huge intercooler. I painted his front bumper and his hood, redid the carbon on it. But now what he wants is he wants one of my custom splitters. That's why I got the bumper off right now. So we're gonna make him a splitter. That way he can protect the bumper. He recently got the bumper PPF'd as well, and he just wants the car to stay clean, you know. So he just redid all that. The car's been down for 2 years, so he wants it to stay nice because the bumper was all beat up and rock chipped up before. The carbon was like the clear was peeling and yellowing in some areas, but the car's looking amazing. He's got all kinds of stuff. I wouldn't even be able to tell you exactly what he has. Just from the top of my head, I can see full race manifold. I see a turbo that's color matched down there. Don't know which one it is. It's got a Skunk 2 intake on it. And then he's got some, I think it's Archer Fab that did all the intercooler piping. JDC made some like little titanium bits there. And then they also have the quick release for the bumpers. Just a bunch of cool stuff. Oh, he has a dog box that he did tell me that. So he's got a dog box for a transmission. And just a bunch of money and time into this thing. The blue looks amazing. They did a good job when they powder coated this. So the thing, I think he said it's pushing like 767 horsepower. So it's a pretty crazy car. Interior wise, it's super clean. He unfortunately did have a little mishap where someone backed into his door, and then he picked up this door from a local friend. That's why it says Moon Performance. He's the guy that has actually worked on that Evo as well. It has his tuner to tune both Evos. So everything's looking good. They're both running RPF ones. You can't go wrong with RPF ones, to be honest. So let's go ahead and get this splitter done. So as you guys can see here, I have my material. Got a cutout for it, and then I have the bumper here. Tony's still working on his car, and did a little mock-up of it. This is the bumper that I painted, and then I installed these like little carbon bits from Rex Speed, I believe. Yeah, that's the mock-up of the splitter, and it's gonna be a full splitter, so it should protect a lot of the stuff underneath. I'm just gonna go ahead and mount it. The only problem is, as you guys saw on the eval outside, it has no crash bar. So typically I'll mount rods from here to the crash bar. So what I'm thinking is the other option that I have is to make some custom aluminum bar. I'm gonna have to trace this out and then mount some bar from here to the car and try to make this fully chassis mounted, so that way the bumper is still removable without having to remove the splitter. So I think that might be the move. So let's get to tracing this and mocking it up. All right, so I went ahead and put the bumper on. I have some 2x4s underneath holding the splitter just for mock-up, so we can kind of see what we're working with. And the way I'm gonna mount this, since this bumper's quick release, I kind of want it to continue being quick release. Because typically I mount the chassis mount splitters to like the subframe or like a frame rail and the crash bar, but this has no crash bar and it has no frame rail. It has a crossbar like all Evos do. So I might have to mount to that in the middle. But over here, I kind of want to make it to where the splitter is floating. Like you can remove the bumper and the splitter will stay in position. That way the quick release will be, you know, still functioning to where you can remove it and have that same function that it always has had. Looking good. Look at that. And this is also going to protect that bumper. I painted this bumper quite a bit ago, and it came out so good that I told him he needs to PPF it so it doesn't happen again, because it was full of rock chips before. And then protect the bottom, make sure the bottom doesn't get scraped up, because I believe I had to reconstruct the bottom lip just because it was splitting right in the front. So yeah, let's get this bumper off and then try to make some custom mounts with a bunch of flat bar. Took the bumper off and now I'm mocking it up, making some mounts with flat bar. As you can see, I have that mount there straight to the frame rail all the way down. Here's this side, and then this side has this pump thing here that is in the way, so I might have to bolt to here or here where the horn's at. Just go straight down. You can see I have like little markings on the splitter. This is where the bumper goes to, so I just have to mount after the bumper, that way there's no interference. Same thing here, just straight down. Looks like might be a bit tight, but I might be able to do it still. So yeah, it's coming along. Cutting the flat bar with the miter saw and bending it with the vise. It's been working out good. I have a bender, but the vise is easy and it's just aluminum bar, so it's easy to bend. But I think it's coming out great. It's nice because a lot of his components are really close to the floor. For example, this oil cooler, you can see the oil pan there. This pipe sticks down quite a bit. So having the splitter here, in case he ever hits anything, it won't rip a hole into anything because it's being protected by this. So that's one of the other reasons why it's nice to have a full size splitter, because if you ever do hit something, it'll protect the bumper and it'll protect everything underneath, because it also adds like a skid plate. This same material is used underneath, I think they use the white version though, but it's used underneath like rock crawlers. That way they can slide off rocks instead of getting stuck. So it's pretty nice. So you can do the same thing where you can kind of slide off stuff. Like let's say you go onto a curb, you can slide off the curb and it won't rip anything because there's nothing to catch onto. So yeah, it's coming along. Tony's over there working on his car still, having a little bit of issues with power steering leaks and filling up the tank with fuel because it didn't have any in it.
And then it went crank.
Yeah, it didn't want to crank. And then this car, I cleaned up a little bit of the underbody coating that was there, just to get it all prepped and ready for welding. But I need to get this Evo done, so it's nice and protected, so we can drive it around with all 700 ponies. So I got the splitter mounted. We got this bar here, we got a bar back there, We have the bar right here where the intercooler mount goes to, and then I put a bar right down the center where the intercooler mount's there as well. So you can see the bolts there. And I use these like locking nuts so that way you can remove it and the nuts will stay in place so you can easily remove it later on if you need to access something. But other than that, everything's pretty accessible. And then, you know, works as a nice skid plate underneath. So now let's go ahead and try to put the bumper on. And hopefully this should go on first try. And the splitter can be, you know, on the car separately. And there it is, the final product. I went ahead and painted the grills black as well because they were kind of like a shiny silver that was kind of rusting. And there it is, chassis mounted splitter with no hardware showing. It's just mounted straight to the frame. It's good, nice and sturdy. And you don't have to put, since it doesn't have a crash bar, the only other option to put splitter rods would be to mount them straight to the bumper, which, as you guys know, is not what I like to do. So, looking good. So that's gonna be it for this video of this week, guys. Got a couple things done with my car, a couple things done with Tony's car, and then got this beautiful Evo all fitted up with a nice custom splitter by Jonny. So I might even put a sticker on the splitter, who knows? That way, if anybody wants a custom splitter made, you know, they can come down and get one made. Super strong. They've been through quite a bit of trials. I've had people like that got them ran over by trucks going like 60 miles an hour. Splitter survived. I've had people go ahead and hit the curb when you're parking. Splitter survived. Nothing's ever happens to it. Super strong, especially when it's that thick. It's literally designed to act it acts as a splitter as well, so it does create a little bit of downforce, but the main purpose for it is to protect the cars. It's more of a showpiece than like a track specific piece because I don't have any like aero flow charts or whatever, but this thing will for sure protect this bumper. It will for sure protect all the stuff underneath that, you know, if you hit a rock, boom, there goes your intercooler, there goes your oil pan, there goes your intercooler piping. He's got an oil cooler that sits super low. It's literally like right on the splitter. Like there goes your oil system, and then if your oil cooler goes out, starts leaking all over the place, then there goes your motor, and it's kind of like a safety. So, and it looks good at the same time. Especially since this is a fiberglass bumper, you scratch it and you start tearing it up. And I did such a beautiful job painting it that I want to make sure that it lasts him a long time. So if you guys enjoyed this video, sorry for the rambling. As always, you guys have a great day.